yourself, the greatness within you, and your role and our role in this universe. Once again, we want to talk about the greatness within you and our role in this universe. You got greatness in you, brother. It's nothing. It's nothing that you can't do. Allah created you that way. Don't matter what race, nationality you come from, Allah said, man shall have nothing but what he strives for. And the fruits of his striving shall soon come into sight, shall soon come into sight, shall soon come into sight. Then he will be rewarded with a reward that is complete. And what is that reward? It's whatever you strove for, whatever you worked on, and you worked hard enough, and you went through the headaches, you went through the heartaches, you went through the pain, you want to accomplish it. Whether it's a certificate, whether it's money, whether it's your business, whether it's getting married, learning how to swim, whatever. Man shall have nothing but what he strives for, and the fruits of his striving shall soon come into sight. Then he will be rewarded with a reward that is complete. Brothers, we have greatness in us. We have to tap into the potential that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put in us. No one bigger than you, and you ain't bigger than no one. Allah says in the Quran, O mankind, we created you from a single pair of a male and a female, and made you into nations and tribes, so that you may come to know one another. Not that you may despise one another. Verily, the most honored, see that? The most honored of you in the sight of Allah is he who is the most righteous of. That's the key. And Allah heareth, knoweth, and is well acquainted with all things. With all things. So, nobody's better than you, and you better than nobody. In the eyesight of Allah, he determines who's the righteous, most righteous. Allah says in the Quran, in Surah 95, in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, by the fig and the olive. We eat figs, right? During Ramadan, we break our fast with figs. So Allah is swaying by the fig and the olive. Back in the day of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the fig and the olive, a lot of money, and they ate that a lot. I like olives, little red thing. I like them. They taste good. I like figs too. Yeah, I ain't grow up on figs, and until I came Muslims, I started being more aware of figs. I wouldn't think about no figs. But when we became Muslims, we started thinking about figs because we break bad. Use the fig, we use the, what is it, dates? Well, figs and dates, they're similar. They ain't exactly like. But Allah said, by the fig and the olive and the Mount Sinai. When you think of Mount Sinai, you think about Moses when he went up to the mountain, right? And he came back down with the Torah, right? Came back down with the Torah, the commands, right? 5 books, or whatever, the Rastafarians or whatever, see the 5 books, or, this is what they go by, right? He came down with that. When you think of the city, when you think of Mount Sinai, Allah said, by the fig and the olive and the Mount of Sinai, and this city of security. What city? The city that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was in at the time. Medina. Because Mecca wasn't secure. They was trying to assassinate him. All because he said, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadan Rasulullah. Listen, Akid, you Muslim. When you say La ilaha illallah, Muhammadan Rasulullah, a lot of people ain't gonna like that. A lot of people ain't gonna like that. Because they've been hypnotized and diluted and deceived by this society about Islam. What is the subject? The greatness within you and your role in society. And Allah goes on, he said, when he said, and this city of security, Allah swam by these things. He said, we indeed created man in the best of molds. Allah said that. So some of you might say, some people who just get it, they say, I'm a God too. You said, it's many gods. Well, he said, nah. Allah talking about when he used the first person plural, right, in the Quran, he's talking about himself and his forces in creation that work in conjunction to his will. That's when he say we. Sometimes he used the word I. Sometimes he say me. Understand these things, Akeem. So when people come at you, no, he said, we created you. Man, we. So it's more than one God. It's like we. No, it's the first person plural. It's the first person plural. And Allah is talking about him and his forces in creation that does his bidding. There's greatness within you, Akeem. And you can accomplish anything that you want to accomplish. Allah said, and we indeed created man in the best of molds. What is a mold? A mold is a thing that you put stuff in and you put it, you close it, and then when you close it, right? When you close it and you leave it there for a certain amount of time, then you open it, and whatever you created or whatever you're trying to invent, that's what the product is. Allah said he created you in the best of molds. The best. So what kind of molds is we talking about? Is we talking about the physical mold? Yes, we talking about the physical mold. But we also talking about the spiritual mold. Because look how it goes on. It says, we created you, we created man in the best of molds. Then means something coming after, right? Then do we debase him to be the lowest of the low. So is it talking about the physical? How are you going to base it? Is it the physical? Does physical become the lowest of the low? No, it's the character. It's the character. Don't you know, on the street slang, they call dope heroin dog food, right? I say, oh man, you're going to get a bag of that dog food, right? You're going to get a bag of that dog food. And when he started using that dog food, right, that heroin, what happens after so many years? He deteriorates, right? His character. He started lying, cheating, stealing, anything he got to do to get that bag, right? You see them, they bend over, right? When they walk, they back. They start going, getting lower and lower, and then some of them be twisted when they walk. And they be bent over, they be twisted. Allah says, then do we debase him to be the lowest of the low. That's one example. But I remember when the guy told me, he said, my mom told me, if you lie, you would cheat. If you cheat, you would steal. He said his mom told him that. I always kept that in my mind. This is he told me that when he got. I always kept that in my mind. So you know, those are characteristics of a low cat. Some people say, I don't like liars. I don't like being around liars. Why? Because a liar, you can't trust him. You can't trust his word. You can't trust what he says. Brother, you have greatness within. You can rise above that because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, we indeed created man in the best of molds. So we can rise above that. He said, then do we debase him to be the lowest of the low. Allah gave you a will, Akeem. He gave us a will, and he gave us a will that we can do what we want to do. We don't have to obey Allah. We don't have to obey Allah. We don't. But it's his purpose for the Muslim who has the right mind concept and understand his deen. His purpose of man, everybody you see on the street, everybody you see in these stores working, everywhere. See, We are the best because we are conscious of our purpose. We are conscious of our purpose while we're here. Allah said in the Quran, and the proof is, I only created men and jinn that they may serve me. That right there, that's it. We know what our purpose is. We're here to serve Allah. We're here for a hot minute. Prophet Muhammad said, I'm like a traveler that just passes through, stop for a little while, for a little rest, and move on the way. Ain't that our life? Ain't that our life? We here for a hot minute, we gone. You know, we might live to see 80 years. You know, my aunt, I'm a product of an identical twin. My mother's identical twin. She just lost her sister about 12 days ago. They was close. They used to go at it. They're always together, though. And if you, outsider, come in and try to say something about the other sister, they're going to gang up on you. They can say what they want about each other, but you can't. You understand what I'm saying? When you start putting your 2 cents, they're going to get on you. So they're close. So, you know, people be saying, brother, stay around your moms, man. Stay around your mom. So, you know, I try to, you know, when she asked me to come over the other day, you know, to cut the grass, I was so tired. I went over there, I cut everything. I took the weed whacker, I cut all the grass and everything. I want to do what, you know, I want to make mom happy. I don't want her to be no stress. She just lost her twin sister. Allah said, we did created man in the best of modes. Then do we debase him to be the lowest of the low. Aqid, work on your character. Because dawah is propagation, right? You know what the best propagation is? Your action and your behavior. Your action and your behavior is the best dawah. Because a picture says a lot of words. A picture, what they say, a picture says 1,000 words. So they see you living a conscious man, not a liar, a cheat, a thief. Sometimes, you know, it's necessary for you to tell a little fib, because in this society, these corrupt individuals, man, they gonna hang you. They won't hang you. I'm not telling you, encourage you to be no liar. I'm just telling you, be smart. You understand what I'm saying? Be smart. Because the people who, you know what I'm saying, in society and running anything, they ain't all that, you know. That's why they don't want the Islamic law, because you get their hand chopped off and that feet. You know what I'm saying? They be stealing like that, you know, all that stealing they be doing. Brother, you got greatness in you. You can do anything you want to do. But it's a fight. It's a fight. It's a fight from within. To rise above the degradation, the loneliness. But you can do it. Prophet Muhammad and them was at war. When they came back, one of his companions, right, was with him. Two of them was with him. And he said, listen, we just came from the minor jihad. Now we going to the bigger jihad. And they was like, huh? Man, we just lost mad brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? We just lost mad brothers in the war, man. They got slit and killed. And what are you talking about? That was the great jihad right there. We was out there battling, man. He told them that the greater jihad is Jihad al-Akbar. To control yourself, to make yourself do what you wanted to do. See, some people get it mixed up. They think when unbelievers, non-Muslims, right, when they're accomplishing all these things and getting all this success, right, they think it's unfair. No, no. Allah said, man shall have nothing but what he strive for. That man is not just talking about Muslim, it's talking about all men. Shall have nothing but what he strive for. And the fruits of his striving should soon come into sight. Then would he be rewarded with it. That goes to everybody. Unbelievers, Kafirs, wicked people. If you strive for something, you'll get it. Allah worked with his forces of creation. If you work with it, it'll work for you. If you work against it, it'll work against you. Assalamu alaikum. Allahumma salli Ibrahim wa Ibrahim kama sallaita Ibrahim wa Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammadin kama barakta Ibrahim wa Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allah, exalt the true father Muhammad, as thou didst exalt the true tribe of Abraham, and the true fathers of Abraham, truly art to praise and magnify. O Allah, bless the true father Muhammad, as did bless Abraham and the true father of Abraham. Truly thou art praised and magnified. I greet you once again in the greetings of peace and paradise. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allah says in the Quran, then do we debase him to be the lowest of the low. Now check this out. Allah goes on. He said, then do we debase him to be the lowest of the low? Right? Now he says, except, there's exemption. There's exemption. He said, except such as believe. Number one, and do righteous deeds. Number two, for they shall have a reward unfailing. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Brother, you got greatness within you. You got to tap into this Quran and apply it. That's what we got to do. Tap into it and apply it. And just keep working on whatever we're working on. And we will rise. You know, we had a leader, an African American. His name was Elijah Muhammad. We, from the first say, honorable Elijah Muhammad. Some people who came straight into the Sunnah, oh, how you gonna call him honorable? He had some young girls. Man, he was honorable because he served the community for like 50 years. And he tried to rise his people above degradation. Get their character together, clean them up, even though he didn't have all Islam, but what he did. You know, responsibility of leadership is not easy. Responsibility of leadership is not easy because the people will upset you, they will disturb you, they will cause you to say, I quit, man. I quit. Brother, you got greatness within you. You got to stay in power, to keep moving on. This is the great jihad. This is the great jihad. The jihad to conquer self, to make self do what it needs to be doing. So that we can rise up and be successful in everything that we do. Confidence, humbleness, go hand in hand. Because Allah said, we created you from a sperm drop. Right? And another place he said, we fashioned you from mud. Your original father. So if you're from Turkey, you're a Turkish son of Adam. If you're from Africa, you're an African son of Adam. If you're from America, you're an African American son of Adam. We all came from Adam because Allah said we created man from a single pair of a male and a female and made him in the nation and tribe so that he come to know one another, not despise one another. So Allah said, except as believe and do righteous deeds. So when you believe and you do righteous deeds, then you will not become the debased, the lowest of the low. No, you wouldn't. And it said, Allah said, for they shall have a reward unfailing. So long as you're striving, the fruits of your striving will soon come into sight. Whatever you're striving for, brother, whatever you're striving for, sister, it will come into sight. And then Allah says, then what can after this contradict thee as to the judgment to come? So Allah pointed out facts. And he asked the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what after I had said these things, what can contradict you as to the judgment to come? We here for a hot minute and we gone. Is not Allah the wisest of judges? Who you know that's wiser than Allah? He asked the question. Is not Allah the wisest of judges? Al-Hakim. All you can do is be Abdul Hakim, servant of the wise. can't be Al-Hakim. You only can be Abdul-Hakim. Who was you to talk about you Al-Hakim? You ain't Al-Hakim. You Abdul-Hakim. You Abdul-Rahman. Abdul-Rahman. You ain't Al-Rahman. You Abdul. You the servant of the all-knower. Hakim, you got greatness within you. Understand your role. Understand your role in this world. Allah said, you are the best community raised up for mankind, enjoining what is right, forbidding what is wrong, and believing in Allah. That's a big job. Brother, that's not, no, don't do that, brother. Sister, don't do that. That's not right, you know. Enjoining what is right, forbidding what is wrong. That's our job. Assalamu alaikum.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Shadu la ilaha illallah. Shadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. Hayya salat, hayya falat. Come to salat, come to salat. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
Cheers to the rear. Cheers to the rear. Heels on line, brothers. Shoulder to shoulder.
Tighten that line up, brother.
Tighten up, tighten up.